Cafecito time. Woo! Cafecito time. Cafecito time. Cause how? How are we so close? Like BFFs for life. That type of shit is hard to find. El poco amor que me diste rápidamente se convirtió en abuso. Listen, I don't know who needs to hear this, but buy yourself the flowers. You don't deserve the love I gave you. You laughed in my face and took it for granted. You drained me. Sometimes I pray to have all my love back. Like, please. Hi, welcome to Didi Self Love, the podcast. Um, I'm excited to have you here. And this is our first episode on YouTube. So that is pretty exciting. I, first of all, want to welcome those of you who have never heard the podcast and this is your first time. I also want to welcome those of you that have migrated from other platforms. I am so glad that you're here and let's get started. Okay, so we're going to start with a few updates. The first thing is I need you to subscribe and hit that bell so you know when the new episodes come on. The other thing is go check out the shorts, listen to the poems. I hope that you can relate. Of course, I bring to you cafecito time. If you know, you know. And also make sure that you are interacting in our community here on YouTube. All right, so since this is the first episode, I am going to do a little introduction. I am Didi, the face of Didi Self Love, the brand, which is a movement that started in 2021. I have been on social media for a long time. I actually started on Facebook, but I started off doing a lot of different things, promoting a lot of different brands and stuff like that. And then I moved into sharing my story. Never ever did I think that I would be doing what I'm doing today. I am a spiritual healer. I am a mother. I am an author, a writer. I have been writing since the age of 12. And if you would have told me that I was going to be sharing my poetry and my writing and the way that I am today, I would have probably looked at you like you're out of your mind. But here we are. I am also a teacher, and it's something that I absolutely love, and it is a part of my life. It's my ministry, it's also a passion, but my heart and soul are here with Didi Self Love. And this is a brand that when I first started it, I shared my story, the story of my son that passed away in 2018. And that was hard to share. It was something that, um, especially in the moment that I shared it, I wanted to keep it to myself, I think. But there was also a part of me that was like, you have to let it out. Because if you don't let it out, it's going to do harm. It's going to really hurt more than what it's already hurting. And this is a forever grief that there is no moving on. There is just kind of learning how to live with it. So that is what I want to talk to you about today. I want to tell you about Didi Self Love, how it came about, why it happened, how it happened, and how all of a sudden my life completely changed at the age of 29. So I had my firstborn back in 2010, and he is a whole teenager, y'all. Okay, like it's sometimes I have a hard time saying that, just so you know, but that's what it is. And in 2018 is when I had my second son, David. And David was something that I didn't know was going to happen. I you know, it caught me off guard. And really the same thing with my firstborn. But with David, years had gone by. So finding out that I was having another child and having another boy, it was a lot for me. But fast forward, we were happy. My son and I were so excited. He was going to be a big brother, and I was going to be a mama to two boys. And let me tell you, I'm biased, but gosh, I love being a boy mom. It is the biggest blessing, okay? Just the biggest blessing because boys are fun and boys are funny, okay? And yes, we fart. Of course you fart. I mean, everybody farts, right? Okay, I had to talk about farts. It's not a DD self-love video if I don't make a joke, okay? So I ended up just being really excited about everything. We were ready for him. Uh, and when I went in to give him birth, it was just an unexpected thing. You know, there's a lot of things in life that happen to you that are unexpected, that come out of nowhere. Almost like think of when you're driving, right? You're driving in the highway, and those cars that are like just they come by you and they're just flying, and then they'll go in front of you and they don't even use the signal, and it's like, dude, there's you use the signal for a reason. Like, is it that hard to use the signal? Okay, I'm getting off topic here, but imagine that. That is exactly what happened to me. It was completely unexpected. I am just waking up on August 5th of 2018, and I knew it. I knew it in my heart. I knew it in my soul. And I remember calling my mom. I was in the bathroom. I started having really bad contractions. And I remember calling my mom and saying, he's coming. He's coming. We need to go. So, mind you, I'm ready to have my child. Like, let's go. Take me to the hospital. Here we go again. So we go to the hospital. I'm ready to have my son, and they lay me down and they're doing everything, and we're at the part where they're looking for the heartbeat, and the nurse, she's doing everything and she doesn't say anything. She's quiet, and I'm just chilling. I'm laying back like, okay. And then another nurse comes in, and then she's doing the same thing. And then they look at each other, and then they're like, we'll be back. And then the doctor comes in. In that moment, that's when my heart kind of like, I still didn't think about any of that. I still didn't think that anything was wrong, but I was like, what's going on? Like, this is weird, And then I'm sitting here thinking maybe it's something about my weight. I don't know, because I'm always told something about, being overweight. So I'm like, okay. So the doctor comes in, the doctor does the same thing, takes a few minutes, and he looks at me, and then he goes, sorry. So he looks at me and he says, I'm going to send you to a specialist. I don't know what's going on, but I don't know everything. So I want a second opinion. I want someone else to look at you. Maybe I'm missing something, but right now we cannot find the heartbeat. My heart dropped. My heart dropped immediately. And I think that, in that moment, that's where the fear started, but I still thought, okay, like everything's okay. Everything's okay. So they take me to a specialist down the hallway, and the specialist does a sonogram, and he's asking me questions about everything. And then he goes, "When was the last time that you felt the baby move?" I couldn't answer him. I couldn't answer him because I don't know. I was shocked. I was confused. And I just told him I don't know. Like I don't know. Like I want to know what's going on. So he lets me know that my son had passed away. Um, I haven't told this story in a long time. Um, it's been almost 7 years, and I always get choked up. Um, when I'm telling this part, but he said that my son had passed away 2 days ago, most likely, maybe a week, but he was for certain that it had been 2 days. I didn't get a lot of answers. I didn't get any answers. He did mention that my son has stopped growing for some reason. I don't know. And he said that I would have to do an autopsy to know more. So they take me back to the room, and that's when everything went blank. If you ask me anything from that moment until I gave birth, it's going to be very vague because don't I don't remember. I just remember being blank. That's it. I went blank. And so I had a spontaneous delivery, meaning there was no time for epidural, there was no time for anything. And I had to give birth immediately because your body does everything the same, even though he was gone. So they take me back to give birth, and all I could think in my brain was, I'm giving birth to my child, but he's gone. And so the doctor and about 5 to 6 nurses are in the room with me because it was a hard situation, I guess. And they I can't push. I can't push in that moment because I don't I I'm giving birth to a deceased body, and it's my child. And so all I remember is the doctor grabbing this knee right here and saying to me, I need you to push. I need you to be strong because I don't want to lose you too. And so I pushed. And when David was born, that silence was the loudest and longest silence of my life. Um, but he was the beautiful, most beautiful child in the entire universe. He was. And I got to spend a day and a half with him. We got to be with him. I slept with him that night. I chose to tell my oldest son. I chose not to do an autopsy and put his body through that because I wanted to take my baby home. And so I chose cremation, and it was a lot. Um, In that moment, after everything happened and I got to go home, I had two choices. My first choice was, you're gonna go down under. And who knows what happens? You're just gonna give up and you're gonna go down under, all the way down under, because the pain is so unbearable and it's a daily pain and it's a forever grief. So you're gonna go down under and you're gonna let it control you. Or you're gonna hang on to the little faith that you have. You're gonna hang on to what you still believe in. And you're gonna learn to move forward and you're gonna learn how to live with it. And you're gonna do it for him. I chose to do the second one. And I will be honest with you guys, it has been the hardest thing I've ever done in my entire life. There is not one day that goes by where I don't think about my son. There's not one day that goes by where I wish that he was here. There's not one day that goes by where I know that life wasn't supposed to be this way. It's hard. But there's also this glimpse of hope, and believe it or not, joy and happiness, because I know that he's with me. So after all of this happened, my life was turned upside down, and that's where I started my self-love journey, my confidence journey, because I looked at myself in the mirror and I realized that I really hated all of me inside and out. And I started to do the work. I healed myself, my traumas. I went back to my childhood. I went back to my inner child. And I've worked very hard, very, very hard. And I'm not perfect. I'm still working on myself. I'm still healing, because you know the thing about healing and the self-love journeys, they're not linear. Journeys, self journeys, growth journeys are not linear. Healing is not linear. And so it is an ongoing journey, but it's beautiful and the process is beautiful. And you learn so much about yourself and you learn so much about the world and you learn so much about your spirit and who you are, and your purpose and why you are in this physical world. And so I took on the journey. I did. My son came, changed my life, and it didn't turn out the way that I wanted it to, but it still brought this joy and this change as well. So it's bittersweet. So DD Self Love became a brand, and it became a brand that has a mission of empowering people, but most of all, empowering women, for women to love themselves, no matter what size you are, no matter what you've been through in life, no matter if you've been abused, if you've been hurt. DD Self Love, it teaches you how not only to love yourself, but how to continue to grow within yourself and to always choose yourself so that you can do better for the world, for others. But ultimately, by choosing you, you're loving others better as well. So, self love is not selfish, it's selfless when it's done the right way. And that's what DD Self Love is about. So, to end this episode, I want to tell you something. First of all, don't feel bad about me. Don't feel sorry. I'm good. I'm good. My son is always with me. He would be 7 years old on August 5th. And after all of this happened, he showed up. He showed up as a white butterfly. This is why the brand has a butterfly. And he shows up quite a lot, quite a lot. And I will share a small piece of some of the ways that he's shown up besides as a butterfly. I was sitting in my bathroom one day and I have things that I see, and it's up to you whether you want to believe or not. But I'm sitting in the bathroom and I had a revelation and I saw a baby and I saw two, I guess you can say two people with him, right? Because they look like people, maybe angels, humans, I don't know, spirits. I'm going to say they were spirits. Two spirits with a baby, carrying a baby. And I knew in my heart, I knew in my soul that that was my son showing up. And the universe, the creator, was letting me know that he's okay and that he's with me. And as that image or that revelation, that moment went away, I cried, I broke down. But something deep down within me knew that everything was going to be okay. So, listen, I don't know what you've been through in your life. And I didn't think that I was going to get this emotional doing this first episode. But I want you to know and take something from this. Whatever you've been through, no matter how bad it has made you feel like you're broken, you're low, you don't want to be here anymore. Like, I just want you to know that you're still here for a reason. That you're listening to this for a reason. There are no coincidences in life, okay? Everything has a purpose, everything has a reason. You are still here. There's a purpose. There is a purpose. And if I can tell you this story 7 years later and tell you that I found joy and I was able to find my smile again, trust and believe that you can too. You can move on from any struggle, any trauma, any pain that you've been through, and you can smile again. If a mother that had to see her son pass away can do this, you can do anything. Believe me, you can. So I hope that this inspires you. I hope that it motivates you. And I hope that it puts a smile on your face in a different way, in a way of, I can do this. I can move forward. I can heal. I can love myself. I can do whatever it is that I want to do. Like, I want you to understand that focusing on you and loving on yourself and finding out who you really are and doing that inner work, like really, really doing the work, will change your entire life. All of it. Thank you so, so much for subscribing to DD Self Love, the podcast. This is the first of many episodes. Go ahead and subscribe. Go ahead and go to the community. Don't forget to love yourself. Until next time.